Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. So today we're going to be bringing you a video on Dosan. This is the third form usually taught in the Chang Hon Hyungs. I believe this form has a lot to do with kind of adding in some counters, right? So someone's gotten control of your wrist, or someone has gripped the cloth right here of the front of your clothing, right? How do you deal with those situations of flow into strikes? Really fun kind of. The form leads into a little bit like headbutts and other fun self-defense, more base techniques that you can, if you would think of them that way, the dirty techniques. So yeah, lots of good stuff in this form. I don't have a full flow drill for the entire form straight through yet, but we do got 2 or 3 good solid drills that covers the first third of the form, second third of the form, last third or fourth of the form, if you will, too. So stay tuned, check them all out. Feel free to skip through the video to whatever part of the form you want to check out next. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Okay guys, so we're going to be going ahead and we're going to start off. I'm actually going to demonstrate at least the sections of the form that we're going to be going through first, right? And I'll actually have you step off to the side just a little bit. Sure. So the form, Dosan, starting out here, outer block, turning at 90 degrees, and then a reverse punch. Right? Now from right here, I'm going to do a step, twist, outer block, reverse punch. That part of the form is very important later on. So watch one more time. All right. So I see this as a great way that you can either move into if someone had grabbed your same side wrist grab for the first one, moving off to the side, and a cross wrist grab on the second one. Let me explain. So from right here, Mr. Bobby, if he has a good hold of my same side wrist, okay, first move in the form, I'm going at 90 degrees and in a front stance. So what that means is I want to be at 90 degrees to Bobby. So I don't want to be in front of him. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate and swim my hand around to grab onto his wrist as I step off to his side. From here, my chamber's coming up, and I'm going to perform my outer block. Now you can think of this more as a hammer fist, really. So I'm turning, hammer fisting right here into the jaw area, neck, wherever it is, okay? And then from right here, I'm going to grip. That's where I'm going to go ahead and close my hand. So 1, 2, 3, right? So if I get that first initial shot, bam, and he's really dazed for a second, I just do a quick finish shot, and I'm out of it, right? I don't have to mess with dealing with him. If you grab me, I'm just trying to get away. Now, if we were looking at the cross wrist grab, similar idea. I want to be at 90 degrees to him, okay? So I'm going to be moving off this way and swimming around just like I did before, right? So I swim up, okay? But in order to get him to let go of this, I'm going to use my other hand slapping down on this arm as I bring this one up, okay? So that you can think of that as your chamber for your block. So I chamber, and then I move into my front stance outer block. Again, hammer fist, gripping at the cloth, and I can reverse punch. The main difference here is now I'm outside of his body, whereas the last one, boom, boom, I'm on the inside, and he has that arm over here still. So one more time on the cross wrist grab. I'm bringing this one up to my ear as this one goes down, so I'm just basically chambering while I move to the side of him. So 1, to get it off, 2, in a front stance, and I can get that backhand hit. You'll notice after this first hit, I can grip and hold, hit, I can bring it back and hit, or control this arm as I hit with this other arm. All right. Now we're going to look at the headbutt idea, okay? So one of the things is when I'm here, in order to create space, if he's really trying to smother me and trying to hit me or grapple me or take me down, it's a mess of a fight, self-defense. I want to be able to keep some space so I can keep on hitting him until he's either knocked out or giving me enough space where I can take off and start running to get some help. So the idea being, if he had that same side, I move off to the side, I get that first strike, okay? If he's still standing, bam, I'm already holding on. So I hit, bam, I brace, okay? I can move in, I get a quick hit right there. Sorry, Bobby. No. Now from there, if I create a little bit more space, then I can go ahead and facilitate with that next strike if I wanted to, okay? Now off the cross wrist grab, similar idea. I break the grip, I strike. If he's still moving into me, bam, I'm right there. Quick headbutt, and you're really trying to hit right here. If you imagine wearing a crown wherever that crown would touch on your head, that's more or less where you want to hit with. I like to specifically hit like right where the unicorn horn would be, so I'm driving it in. From there, I can hit with the other arm. Okay? So, an easy drill that you can practice with a partner. Same side wrist grab, I move off and I control his wrist. 1, headbutt, 2. I'm going to control his wrist and move back, then he can do it to me. 1, headbutt, 2. Good. He's got me now. 1. Good. Same thing with the cross wrist grab. Okay, he's got the cross wrist grab and move across. 1, hit, hit. Okay, I'm controlling at his wrist now on the cross wrist grab. I'll face him. He's gonna rotate, strike, headbutt, reverse punch, and he's controlling this arm. He goes back. 1, 2, 3, and I'm controlling that arm. And we kind of just keep on flowing with it. The important thing here is working on. He grabs me. I'm not going here, staying here. I want to create a bit more of that angle. I want to get to the side of my opponent, away from that other hand that could be hitting me, right? That way I can be doing other things working here. All right, and that's the first couple moves of Dunga. Okay, we're moving into the second part. So after you get the second outer block punch, you have this pseudo block, pressing into that spear finger thrust, okay? Now, the way that I see it, and from the other instructors and people that I've learned from online, different guys like Ian Abernathy, Andy Allen, this spearing hand is a really great way to break balance, and it's just super easy, basically, throw that you can be utilizing. So that's how we're going to use it today. If you take that first part of the form, especially if it's a same side wrist grab, go ahead and stand right here, Mr. Bob.
Yes, sir.
And I move off to the 90 degrees. Moving off here, strike. Now let's say I'm here, maybe I got in the headbutt, but he's still standing. He's not moving away, okay? As a matter of fact, he might be trying to close the distance. So what I do is I bring it back and I get another strike into the neck really fast, wrapping of the arm at the same time. So I went here, headbutt, he's still standing. I hit him again, wrapping the arm, stepping behind. From here, I slide this arm back and then push forward right here on the shoulders. Obviously, you can substitute that for the face, the head, whatever works really. Now this is a break of the balance, and then the next part is I take my back leg here and I would spin it around, taking my partner down, controlling the arm, and then I can follow up with finish strikes or whatever needed to be done there. Okay, so once again, show you that. From the same side wrist grab, I move off, strike, headbutt. If he's still standing, he's moving in. Another strike to the neck, wrap, stepping behind, breaking the balance, taking him down, controlling the arm, right? I have lots of options from here, but that's generally, I take him down, quick hit, move away. You know, I don't want to be fighting him, obviously. Okay, same idea can be done from the cross wrist grab though. So if he has that cross wrist grab, same idea, 1, 2, okay? Get a headbutt in, maybe he's still trying to come in towards me. Now, I don't have total control of this arm, right? I'm feeling where it is, but he can still move it around. I'm trying to keep it pressed up against him, but it's something that I can't control really well. So I can move from here into the same technique, stepping behind and breaking the balance here. However, if I want to keep a little bit more control over him, he does have the possibility of stepping out, right? So I might go here and then try to take him down. He steps out away so he doesn't get hit, right? And that's because I wasn't able to control the arm as well. So I'm here, he moves in again. I get that strike, I can step through and hit and swing it up to the neck if I wanted to and if I needed to. So here, wrapping, or just from here, and again, twisting, bringing him down, controlling the arm at the end. Okay. Now we're going to move into the second part of the form. All right, so we're going to be looking at following that spear finger. So we just went here. The next part of the form is you rotate that arm as you're twisting through. Back fist, stepping forward, front stance, back fist. All right? So that is a great counter for if your opponent had gotten a good control of the cross wrist grab. So, for instance, if he grabs same side wrist grab, he can't do a whole lot in terms of twisting my arm around to manipulate my body from here. Like his arm can't really do that. Now, if he had the cross wrist grab, from here, he could rotate it and pull it all the way to the hip, and he's already getting a really good reaction. And as you can see, he was already going for that arm bar down. And that's exactly what this is addressing. Okay? If he starts turning my arm like that and bringing it forward, I can't fight out of that, right? If I'm already in this position. So instead, what I do is I go with it, stepping through back fist, right? And this, since I'm so close, elbow into a back fist. It could be a hammer fist, but basically this motion. From here, I take the hands, I trap them right here, step through another elbow and a back fist. Or if I'm a little farther, I might just go into the back fist. I could also just go in for a straight strike. He's got the cross wrist grab, he twists it, I step. 1, striking. 2, hitting, elbows. I have lots of options. The form shows 2 back fists, and that's essentially what we're looking at there. So same thing for Mr. Bobby here. If I had taken this arm and I rotated it down, he steps through, first strike, controlling those arms, second strike. And I like to talk about that second strike. You can make it a palm strike, a hammer fist, elbow into a back fist. There's lots of options. The form just shows another back fist. Now we're moving into the fourth part or fourth sequence of the form. So following the 2 back fists, you end up turning around, facing the back wall, so to speak. You perform the same outer block punch. And like we talked about earlier, these feet step across, step, twist. So this is where that's really going to come in handy. Okay? Now, if I start the Hyung facing you, and I turn 90 degrees, what that basically means is I want to be 90 degrees in front of him, right? So off to the side, but still in front of him. Now, at the second half of the form, you perform the same sequence, but now you're facing the back of the room. And what that basically means is I want to perform the same sequence, but instead of being here with him, I want to be facing him like this, so almost standing next to him. So here's how that works. This is going to start off from a grabbing of the cloth. And if you've ever watched hockey, you know this is one of like the favorite natural human ways to hit and punch. You find the target, you hold on tight, you use the other hand, and you start wailing in strikes, right? And the other person's blocking, and it's just a bad thing. If you ever watch hockey, they usually get both, everyone's just gripping and they're blocking and just smacking each other, and it's hilarious. So instead of that though, he's got this grip here. This option shows you how do I get from here to the outside of him, which would be a better tactically position. So what I'm going for here, I'm going to take this hand closer to the wrist and I'm trapping it at the same time this hand is coming in. And this is just my chamber for the outer block. Okay? Now as I do this, I step forward and I use that unicorn horn that we were talking about to headbutt and drive into his face. So I bring him close to me like that. At the same time, I move in. So a little slowly so we don't hurt anybody, but 1. Now after that first headbutt, and maybe even a little bit of a recoil, as that recoil happens, these 2 steps. Step up, step back, rotate. Now as you rotate, keeping this arm tight, if I don't even leave it and I rotate my body, you see how it turns his arm over. That's what I want. You can call that your outer block. So your hand here is letting it twist out. Once you get into this position, grabbing the arm and holding onto the hand like so. Now to assist you with that turn, boom, a headbutt, step, step, I'm going to cross right here to the jaw as I twist. So I'm punching and twisting, okay? This leaves me with his hand and my arms on top. From this position, and notice how I'm also behind like we talked about before. If he hasn't been knocked out and he starts turning around to face me and hit me, I would move into the next part of the form. All right, so we're going to be looking at the 5th sequence of the form now. So we're looking at after you do the second outer block punch, which as we discussed is kind of like a variant of a Russian escape, if you guys know what that is. In grappling, the whole Russian concept, twisting to get the grip off. So following that, you got 45 degrees, the double outer block as they're called, here, back leg front kick, and then 2 punches. The front kick, we're going to go to the knee level. The height is just for aesthetics and looking pretty and athletic training and stuff. But in application, we'll go ahead and kick low right to the knee. So essentially what this is a Z-lock, right? So, Mr. Bobby, if we started out in that last sequence like we showed you, controlling the wrist, headbutt, stepping through, twisting as I cross here. I got control of this arm. I hold onto the hand. As he turns towards me, I'm going to be at 45 degrees. I'm no longer at 90. I'm not in front of him. I'm going to be at 45 degrees, so as he turns to face me, I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to rotate, making sure that we have a good looking Z or S shape in his arm. Okay? From here, I pull the elbow down as I rotate his fingers to face his nose. Okay? So he turns towards me, I do this, and that's the reaction you get. It opens up the low line target, the inside of the leg. So from here, kicking, and then 2 strikes. Again, he's got the grab, headbutt, rotate as you're twisting and striking. As he turns to face, you put the lock on, kicking, and then 2 strikes out there. Now we're going to be moving on to the 6th sequence of the form, and that's very simple. After you've done the second kick, punch, punch, low X, 2 hands, upper blocks, and you just do 2 of those. Okay? Those are then followed up by doing some horse stance, chops, right? And we see those as a throw and a takedown as well. So looking at that, again, he's got a hold of here. Now this time, instead of going on the outside, maybe for whatever reason, he was already shooting his shots, right? And I had to cover, I blocked. I couldn't get a good control of his arm to stop it. I had to use that one. So as I'm blocking, the next thing I'm going to be doing is taking both hands, bringing them down at the elbow and pulling it in towards me. Same idea with the headbutt. I'm going to let that head move forward, so I'm here. After that headbutt happens, it's going to cause a bit of a recoil, right? So boom, he moves his head back. That's what opens up the strike for my upper block. So I got the low X, high X. And of course, there's a headbutt in there if you're close enough and if you want it. Okay? Now from here, if I move into the takedown, 1, 2, I take this hand, go down to the elbow, right? I hit him, it extends his arm ever so slightly. I take the hand back, I pull this hand to my hip, which gets him to turn his back towards me. Okay? At the same time as I do that, I have my other hand go across and take him down. That being the chop. So the whole thing from the other side, same idea. I got that headbutt, striking underneath, take my hand to the elbow, pull it across. This hand goes across, and I'll go ahead and take him down. Super simple takedown. Okay, now all in all, the great thing about this form is it gives you lots of techniques that you can start working with, in addition to all the first techniques that you learn in the Chang Hon Hyungs. This one gives you some stuff that you can work with in terms of form-based sparring or Hyung or kata-based sparring, whatever you want to call it. And it's just a ton of fun. So I really do love this form. I would love for you guys to drop a like, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts on these applications. Do you like them? Do you dislike them? Do you have a variant of them? Ultimately, these are just my ideas. They're my interpretations of the forms and Hyungs that I've been practicing since I was a little guy. They're not the correct, they're not the best, they're just my interpretations. And if you guys find them valuable, please make sure to leave a like, and again, subscribe to the channel so you guys can see more cool content just like this. Alright, thanks guys, we'll be back with another video pretty soon.